Let's take a look at fashion because luxury retailers seem to be bucking the global downturn. Earlier this month, high-end clothing retailer Burberry reporting a big jump in second quarter income and saying it's all thanks to Asia. Its first half sales in this region rising 52%. And CEO Angela Ahrendts says that Asia leads the field in these so-called flagship markets.
In luxury, you typically do 60–70% of your business in high demographic, high tourist, what we call flagship markets. You have a lot more of those in Asia than you have anywhere else in the world right now, and they're actually growing at a faster clip than a lot of the flagship markets in some of the more developed markets around the world.
You know, looking around, there are various leather goods, bags, clothing. The Chinese consumer is said to be one of the most important consumers in the world. In fact, the fourth largest consumer as it relates to luxury goods in the world. How have you diversified your product line and your offering to really cater to the unique needs of this group of people?
Yeah, it's a great question because they are unique. You have a much higher percentage of men purchasing in China and Asia than you typically have anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
So we just actually launched our new Burberry Tailoring Initiative, which has been terrific here. We've also focused a lot on our men's non-apparel business, which had been relatively small. But the typical male in Asia has 3 to 4 times the accessories than a typical male outside of Asia.
How has your social media strategy differed in China compared to Europe and in the United States, given the fact that there are various different social media platforms here in Asia?
Yeah, very different. And but the great news is you can take one initiative. For example, the last runway show a couple of weeks ago, we had a new concept with Twitter that the team had launched called Tweet Walk, where we actually shot the images before they went down the runway. And of course you couldn't do that in China, but we did partner with Saini and did exactly the same thing, just on a different platform for that market.
Angela, how does your China strategy differ from your Asia ex-China strategy?
You know, I think probably for ourselves and most luxury brands, I think the difference is just the tremendous growth that's coming out of that market. But it's a vast market to manage. So, you know, whether it's distribution centers, whether it's offices to service the growth there. So inside China, there's a lot of logistical things that you have to deal with just to manage, you know, the 30 cities that are really rapidly growing. And so that in itself is a challenge that you don't have in any other major market.
Here in the Asia-Pac region, what will you say is the next place that you're going to see a lot of the growth coming from?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Which one city is it going to be?
Oh, just one? Oh, if I had to say one, I'd have to tell you it's down in Indonesia, it's down in Malaysia, it's down in that pocket of the world. And it's funny, you know, we watch Facebook. We've got nearly 9 million fans on Facebook today, and typically Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, those countries are always in the top 10 every week when it comes to our fans on Facebook. So they're watching the brand. We can see that they want more of the brand.